How's it going? I thought I was only going to make one video concerning this book, The System, by Doc Love. Uh, and I had mentioned before in my last video that one could go on to make several videos or installments, like Uncle Vern calls them, uh, about this book and about women and how it relates to the entire men's rights movement. Although I'm not going to make 5 or 20, but I do feel it deserves another one. There are so many talking points or so many important gems of information within this book. Um, I could literally go on and on about this book forever. One thing that I want to point out is when it addresses situations, it doesn't do so in a cryptic manner. It is all just black and white, perfectly sensible manner. As in, when you are faced with a situation, you will find a lot of times, as have I, as have friends of mine who I've shown the book to, that the situations will be exactly the same word for word. I once showed it to a friend of mine who actually threw the book on the floor and started laughing. He stood up. He couldn't believe it. A girl had just told him the same thing earlier that day, earlier that week, I mean. And exactly what the book said would happen is what happened. And this is a very common occurrence with this book. If you look it up on Amazon, it has all 5 stars. Nobody who has read the book has ever complained about it, at least to my knowledge. I want to go ahead and talk about a couple of chapters here. First of all, he refers directly to what's known as red flags. I think, to me at least, he was the first one to ever use the term, and I think he's probably one of the I guess one of the first people to actually apply it to women. Red flags are nothing but caution warnings that come up in a relationship. And the entire book is dedicated to identifying these red flags. That's what it's about. That is what's going to keep you from ending up with the succubus who's going to drive you to suicide. It's just identifying red flags. The thing is that nobody taught you, nobody taught me. It's politically incorrect to talk about that. So here's the book. The entire guide to identifying every single type of red flag, and also to providing ways in which a red flag comes out. Situations, conflicts are actually very useful when it comes to determining the attitude of the women that you're with. Conflict is great, actually, as far as when it not making it happen, but when it does, keeping your eyes open. Another very important chapter is womanese. Womanese is what women speak in. See, they don't use normal English to say, I'm not into him, or, this will never happen, or we aren't in bed together, we're just, friends, or, anything that they want to say. They say it in a cryptic manner. And he goes through and basically deciphers exactly what she's thinking, but really, after a while of reading just a couple, it pretty much breaks it down to where you're able to identify what she's actually saying. Another important thing that I think this book does very well is in putting the following complex sort of thought into men, which is something that is well, it's fairly, hard to understand. Is that when you ask a woman what she likes in a man, she doesn't imagine you, Poindexter Mr. Nice Guy, and what you could do to sway her heart. She imagines a knight in shining armor and what he could do to sway her heart. Beautiful, long, luscious hair, riding on a horse in shining armor, or whoever she's reading about in that particular novel, be it the guys from Twilight, or whoever else. And you ask her, and she gives you this complete bullshit about, well, they need to talk more, be more open about their feelings, because the guy she's thinking about doesn't do that. And she wants more from him. But you go ahead and do that, and you're very open, and you're very nice, and you get nowhere. This book explains why. I know I'm probably starting to bore some people just talking so much about this book, but, you know, I'll do as many installments as I have to. It's that good. So, go get the book. That's all I have to say.